Ladies and gentlemen, you ever notice how sometimes a man just can't seem to get you out of his head? No matter how hard he tries, your name, your face, your memory just keeps popping up like that song you can't stop humming. Now that's what we're talking about today, when his mind won't let him forget you, even when he tries. Ladies and gentlemen, think about this. When a man truly experiences something real with you, it leaves a mark on his mind that just won't fade away. It's not something shallow or fleeting like a quick glance or a passing fancy. No, it's something deep, something meaningful. You see, the power of a lasting impression is incredible. It's about how you made him feel in those moments, those conversations, those times when you showed your true self without pretense. That's what sticks with him. When you've been genuine, when you've shared your dreams, your fears, your laughter, and your tears, you become more than just a face in the crowd. You become a part of his story, etched in his memory. And that kind of connection, it's hard to shake. It's not just about physical attraction or fleeting chemistry. It's about the way you made him feel valued, respected, and understood. This lasting impression is powerful because it triggers emotions, and emotions are what the mind holds on to the tightest. Even when a man tries to move past you, his mind keeps replaying those moments like a favorite song. It's why sometimes he can't forget you no matter how much he wants to. That's the kind of impact you make when you show up as your authentic self, when you're real, unapologetically you. So remember this, it's not about perfection or always being right. It's about the genuine energy you bring, the honesty you offer, and the emotional space you create. When you leave that kind of lasting impression, you don't just become a memory, you become unforgettable. And that's something no mind can easily let go of. Now let's talk about something that happens inside a man's mind. The struggle with unresolved emotions. When a man tries to forget you but just can't, it's often because his heart and mind are still tangled up in what you both shared. Forgetting isn't as simple as flipping a switch. You see, the mind loves to replay the moments that didn't quite get closure, the conversations left hanging, and the feelings left unspoken. That's why sometimes, no matter how much he tries, he keeps coming back to you in his thoughts. Emotions are tricky. They don't follow a timetable or respect how much we want to move on. When feelings remain unresolved, the mind gets stuck in a loop, remembering, wondering, questioning. He might ask himself, what if I had done things differently? What if I'd said this or that? These questions don't let him forget because his mind is searching for answers, trying to make sense of it all. This internal wrestling is what keeps your memory alive. It's important to understand that this struggle isn't about weakness or obsession, it's about being human. When someone means something to us and the relationship or connection ends without a clear resolution, it leaves a space that's hard to fill. The mind naturally tries to protect us by holding on to those memories, hoping to figure out what went wrong or how it could be fixed. Until he finds that peace, his thoughts will keep drifting back to you. So even when he's trying to forget, he's really just trying to understand and process what happened. That's why his mind won't let him forget you. Because forgetting means giving up on those questions. And deep down, he's not ready for that yet. It's a journey, not a quick fix. And it shows just how much the connection meant to him. There's something powerful about unfinished stories, unfinished conversations, and moments that ended without clear closure. When a man's mind won't let him forget you, it's often because the story between you two feels incomplete. You see, time alone doesn't heal every wound, especially when the lessons haven't been learned or when the chapter hasn't been properly closed. That lingering sense of what if and if only keeps the memory alive in his mind, making it impossible to completely let go. When something ends suddenly or without explanation, it leaves behind a cloud of uncertainty. His mind starts filling in the blanks, trying to make sense of the ending that didn't make sense. This unfinished business acts like a loop, playing over and over again, reminding him of what could have been if things had gone differently. That's why even after days, months, or years, the memory of you stays vivid, because there's no real ending for him to accept. Sometimes the hardest part about moving on isn't about forgetting the person, but about accepting that the story they shared is now part of the past. If the emotional lessons from that time together weren't fully understood, or if there was no chance to say goodbye properly, the mind struggles to find peace. It holds on to the memory tightly, waiting for that moment of clarity or closure that might never come. So when you see a man who can't seem to forget you, even when he's trying, understand this. It's not just about missing you. It's about the story he hasn't finished telling himself. Until he finds a way to close that chapter, his mind will keep bringing you back, replaying the moments, hoping for a conclusion that makes sense. And that unfinished story is a powerful reason why forgetting feels impossible. Sometimes it's not just about love or heartbreak. Sometimes the reason a man's mind won't let him forget you goes deeper than that. It's about what you represented in his life, not just as a person, but as a symbol of strength, growth, or even regret. When a woman leaves a lasting impression, she becomes more than just a memory. She becomes a marker in his personal journey. He remembers you not only for who you were, but for what you inspired in him. You might have been the one who challenged him, who pushed him to be better, who showed him a different way of living or loving. And that kind of impact doesn't just disappear overnight. It stays in his mind because it forced him to confront himself, to grow, and to face parts of life he might have ignored before. Even if the relationship ended, the lessons he learned from you and the growth you sparked remain, making it impossible to forget you completely. Sometimes, too, he remembers the regret, the what ifs, and the should haves. Maybe he didn't treat you the way you deserved, or maybe circumstances pulled you apart when neither of you wanted to go. That regret keeps your memory alive because it's tied to missed chances and roads not taken. He carries that with him and it haunts his mind because it's a reminder of what was lost and what could have been. So when a man's mind won't let him forget you, it's not always about clinging to the past with longing. Sometimes it's about recognizing the real significance you had in his life. You were a symbol of something bigger, growth, strength, lessons, or missed opportunities. And those kinds of memories don't fade easily because they're tied to the very core of who he is. Forgetting someone isn't something that happens instantly. It's not like flipping a light switch or erasing a chalkboard in one quick swipe. Letting go is a process, and it takes time. Sometimes more time than we expect or want to admit. When a man's mind won't let him forget you, even when he tries, it's often because the natural process of letting go is complicated and messy. The brain doesn't just toss out memories that matter. It holds on to them, especially when those memories are tied to deep emotion. The mind is wired to protect us, to hold on to significant experiences because they shape who we are. When a man tries to forget you, his brain is actually still working through the layers of what you meant to him. It's trying to sort through the feelings, the good times, the bad times, and all the mixed emotions in between. This isn't something he can rush or force. Even if he's telling himself, I need to move on inside, his brain is still replaying moments and reminders, making it hard to completely let go. That's why memories often pop up unexpectedly, sometimes triggered by a song, a smell, or even a place. These triggers pull him back into the past, even if he's not consciously thinking about you. It's the brain's way of processing, of trying to understand and make sense of the experience. This process can take weeks, months, or even years, depending on how significant the relationship was. So when you see a man struggling to forget you, remember this isn't a simple matter of willpower or choice. It's a deep emotional and mental process that takes time and patience. His mind isn't trying to hold on to pain, it's trying to find peace. And until it does, those memories will keep coming back, no matter how much he wishes they would. You see, when a man's mind won't let him forget you, it's often because you were unforgettable. Not because of some magic trick, but because you were real. Being real means showing up authentically, without mask or pretending to be someone you're not. When a woman is genuine, she leaves a mark on a man's heart and mind that can't be erased by time or distance. Realness is powerful because it connects on a level deeper than surface attraction. It touches emotions, values, and memories that stay with him long after you're gone. You know, you might have been the kind of woman who wasn't afraid to speak her mind, to show her vulnerabilities, to stand firm in who she was. That kind of authenticity challenges a man to see himself more clearly, to face his own truth, and to grow. When someone impacts you in that way, they become unforgettable. The mind remembers not just what you look like or what you said, but the way you made him feel seen and understood. Sometimes the reason he can't forget you isn't because he's stuck on the past, but because you represented something real in a world full of pretenses. Life moves fast, people come and go, but the ones who are real leave footprints that don't wash away with time. He might try to forget, but the genuine connection you created stays alive in his memory because it was rare and meaningful. Being unforgettable doesn't mean you have to be perfect or without flaws. It means you were honest and sincere. And that kind of presence is hard to forget. It lingers in the mind because it reminds him what true connection feels like. So when his mind won't let him forget you, know this. It's a sign that what you shared was something real, something worth remembering, even when he tries to move on.